Standard weight loss advice is built on the 3,500 calorie rule. Burn that amount more than you consume, and you drop exactly 1 pound. Cut 500 calories a day, and this line predicts a steady downward slope. In practice, the body eventually stops responding to the math. Progress flatlines, even if you maintain the exact same daily caloric deficit. This is a survival mechanism called adaptive thermogenesis. When you restrict energy, your body interprets the deficit not as a choice, but as the threat of starvation. To protect its fat stores, the body mounts an active defense. It dynamically adjusts its total daily energy expenditure to match the lower amount of food coming in. Treating weight loss as a static equation fails because your system is in a constant dynamic negotiation with survival biology. The first defensive layer is energy conservation. As calories drop, the body looks for ways to lower its daily expenditure. This includes a reduction in non-exercise activity thermogenesis, or NEAT. The central nervous system quietly suppresses unconscious movements that burn energy, such as fidgeting, maintaining an upright posture, or even just pacing. In a severe deficit, the body often catabolizes its own muscle tissue for fuel. Every pound of lean tissue lost reduces the basal metabolic rate, creating a daily energy burn deficit that can reach several hundred calories. Counteracting this metabolic slowdown requires a combination of resistance training and a high-protein diet. Lifting weights and consuming protein provides the chemical signal necessary to preserve fat-free mass. This keeps the metabolic furnace running even while food is restricted. By preserving muscle mass, you maintain your resting metabolic rate and keep the weight loss process moving forward. Beyond calorie expenditure, the body uses an endocrine hijack to drive an overwhelming physical urge to eat. This is driven by a specific hormonal shift. Ghrelin, the hormone that stimulates hunger, spikes, while leptin, the signal for fullness, plummets. To understand how to regulate this hormonal surge, researchers began looking at a variable often ignored in nutrition: sleep duration. This split-screen chart illustrates a 2022 study comparing subjects sleeping 4 hours versus 9 hours per night. The sleep-restricted group consumed 300 more calories daily, lost 1.6 times more muscle, and saw an 11% increase in dangerous visceral belly fat. For a body in a caloric deficit, sleep determines whether your system chooses to burn muscle or preserve that hazardous visceral fat. Even when you are physically active, your body prefers to burn easy-access energy before it ever taps into stored body fat. This creates a glycogen shield. During most workouts, your system fuels itself using the stored carbohydrates from your recent meals. However, the body's choice of fuel changes depending on whether you exercise in a fed or fasted state. This bar chart compares fat oxidation over a full 24-hour period. Moderate exercise performed before breakfast significantly increases the amount of fat burned throughout the day. Performing exercise when glycogen stores are lowest forces the body to utilize stored fat as its primary fuel source for the remainder of the day. Because the body shrinks and adapts, the initial calorie target you set must be continuously adjusted to maintain a negative energy balance. Ensuring that loss remains sustainable involves prioritizing sleep for hormone regulation, preserving muscle with protein and weights, and timing workouts to bypass the glycogen shield. Because poor sleep and diet can specifically trigger the accumulation of visceral fat deep in the abdomen, the scale is often a misleading metric. Progress is more accurately measured through waist circumference, which tracks the loss of those dangerous fat deposits. A slow, steady loss of 1 to 2 pounds per week is the optimal pace to avoid triggering extreme biological starvation responses. Managing the weight loss plateau requires aligning your habits with evolutionary biology.